Hey, it's your boy, Big Easy K. I'm here with a special Northwestern chill. I'm here solo. Yeah, it's just gonna be me. Just a real quick kind of a video slash podcasting we're gonna put up. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this, but I just got a couple things I want to talk about with the shooting that just happened. Jacob, God, yeah, I just forgot the damn dude's name. Um, Guy in Kenosha who just got shot 7 times in the back. So I wanna talk about that, but I also want to talk about some other cases, and I want to kind of give people a little bit of comparison, in a way, I guess, comparison to how people of color have been charged with crimes and how people who not of color have been not charged with crimes. Um, Here in a little bit, I'm going to pop a video up, share the screen of a guy who doesn't get killed by the police, but did a lot more than Jacob did. Jacob Blake, is that his name? I don't know. Anyway, I'm here talking to myself. So the first one I want to talk about real quick, um, this 15-year-old kid. It was in Georgia. He was convicted of armed robbery at 15. So, and here's the story. I want to break it down so you understand the story completely. This kid found it was on, I think it was Facebook or Craigslist or something like that. They were trying to buy some Jordans, some Jordans for somebody who was reselling them or whatever. Set up a meeting with them. Went to go meet them. Put the shoes on and was like, "Oh, I'm taking these." Oh, mind you, okay, we'll get to that second. So he put the shoes on and said, "Oh, I'm taking these." And the kid's like, "What?" And another guy comes out, supposedly a friend of this kid's. Don't have his name right now, um, but I will pull that up later. So they basically said, guy pulled a gun out and everybody left. Everybody ran. Pedestrians or who were in the area, everybody ran away. So this is the case. So he got convicted. This is his first charge. It's an armed robbery case. The kid gets 5 years prison, 10 years probation. Now, I believe that they dropped some of the years in prison and dropped whatever, but they charged him as an adult at 15. Okay, first offense, first charge, wasn't even the one brandishing the gun. Um, so I found that, to me, I found it a little bit harsh, considering this other case I'm going to bring up about a white guy. Um, I felt this is a little harsh. Like I said, first offense, 15 years old, should have been held in juvenile court. Um, he wasn't even the one with the gun. He put the shoes on. He took them. Yes, he stole. He definitely should have been charged. Definitely should have been um, juvenile hall. Should have been detention area, whatever the case may be. But at 15, I don't believe that first offense, something like that, when he wasn't even the one brandishing the weapon, by the victim's own admission, his own admission, he wasn't the one with the weapon, that he should have been in juvenile court. He should have went to juvenile. Um, this kid basically, his life is pretty in shambles. And he was a young kid. He even was remorseful on the stage or on the on the stand, talking about how he wished he hadn't done it and all these and this. He was young and dumb. And we've all done young and stupid things. I mean, probably not to that extent, a lot of us. But several of us who, you stole some candy at the local store, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, maybe you've done nothing. Maybe you're the perfect person. You've never done anything. You've been in that situation. So I just found that very, very over the top for a charge for a child. Okay. Um, Now I want to talk about Khalif Browder real quick. This is a kid who was held, I believe, at Rikers for 3 years with no trial, no court date. He was just held there over an alleged stolen backpack that he ended up eventually getting out for, because he didn't take it. But he was held basically illegally for 3 years in prison as a child. I think it was 18 to 22 or something along those lines. Um, from what I understand of this story, I believe he ended up killing himself after he got out due to the emotional trauma he went through being in that place for 3 years. I mean, he wasn't able to see his family, no visitation rights. Basically, he was kidnapped. He was kidnapped on false allegations and put in a prison cell for 3 years. I mean, I, I don't see people don't talk about this. You know, we're talking about all these other cases and oh, Kyle Rittenhouse and blah blah blah, all these people, but we're not talking. We didn't talk about this guy as much, did we? Who was held. I mean, I don't see these all lives matter people running up talking about this case or this other case about this kid. But let's hit this other case here real quick. You guys might remember Brock Taylor, white kid. I think he was 19 or so at the time. 5 counts of rape. Okay, this is a pretty gory in my mind. He is he's convicted of raping an unconscious woman. She's unconscious in the bed. He goes in there and does what he wants to do with her. You know, they end up dropping the top two of the counts of rape, and then like turned into like sexual misconduct. He ended up with 6 months. Yeah, you heard that right. 6 months. I did. That wasn't an error. I paused because I can't believe 5 counts of felony rape charge. Two of them the DA dismisses, and he gets 6 months in jail. What? What? Are you serious? This is ridiculous. 6 months in jail for a rape of an unconscious woman. This is a fucking turd. This is a turd, man. And the judge said that he didn't want to ruin this young man's life. So now he gets 6 months in jail. This young woman who he raped now knows that the man who did this to her basically got a slap on the wrist. I believe he got out 2 months early as well, too. So he got a slap on the wrist. Nothing. Nothing. 6 months? 4 months? You serious? But we got a kid who was allegedly stole a backpack getting 3 years with no visitation, no trial, no court, no nothing. We got a kid, 15-year-old kid charged as an adult for stealing a pair of sneakers. 5 years with 10 on probation. But a man who rapes an unconscious woman gets 6 months? Make it make sense to me. I just don't understand it. And probably another episode when I get Lou back. He's been busy doing some stuff, getting his family together and doing a new job and whatnot. I want to go into depth with him about this, and I got more details about all three of these cases that I just talked about. I want to go more in depth on them, but right now, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about the Kenosha incidents, I guess we should call them. We obviously have the cop shooting the man 7 times in the back. We also have the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Um, this is going to be a little shocking, even for me, because I'm a guy who I look into the research. I kind of figure out what is what, and then kind of come on thesis. I don't like to just oh well that's what happened. I'm going to go with that. I like to look a little deeper into it. So let's start with Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay, so Kyle, 17-year-old kid, um, comes from another state. Now, mind you, it's only a 30-minute drive from where he was in his other state to Kenosha. I think a 30 or 45-minute drive, something along those lines. Now, with that said, he broke. There's two laws right there that he's breaking. One, he's underage with a firearm. Two, he crossed state lines with it. Those are felonies. That's a felony. I think a misdemeanor for having the weapon. Now, the actual shootings, and to say this after looking at everything I saw, like I said, this is from everything that I've seen so far. Now, there could be other evidence that come out, other stuff, but from what I've seen, he shot out of self-defense. Now, he shouldn't have been in those situations. I think he put himself in situations he shouldn't have been in. Now, and here's the breakdown. So at the beginning of the night, he's with some other armed men, and they're protecting a building that was burned. There's people on the roof that are watching over. He's got medical supplies. He's helping people, or he says he's helping people. Apparently, people said, yeah, he was providing medical attention to certain people who needed it. Um, because this protest had definitely turned more of a riot. And it's like all these protests, let me piggyback on that real quick. A lot of these protests have opportunists, and they are just, oh, there's something happening. Let's go and just see what we can get out of it. There's always somebody who's trying to get something off of somebody else's movement. It's never going to cease. It's always going to happen. But the thing that's happening with that is people are changing the narrative and believing that these looters and rioters are the ones that are this movement. They believe that's the movement, is just looting and rioting, when that's far from the case. Now they're undermining this movement, what they're doing. I mean, there's been peaceful protests throughout the country. I've been a part of some myself. There's been some in my own city. There's been some in Portland. There's been some Seattle. There's a lot of them peaceful. Now there's also been rioting. There's also been looting. There's also been that. But that becomes the major story versus the peaceful protesting. And there's been more peaceful protesting than there has been looting and rioting. And that's fact. It's just not reported on because it's not news. It's not as newsworthy as that. So now, with all that said, back to Kyle Rittenhouse. So he was with a group of men. They were guarding his building. He's got his medical supplies. He's basically saying, I'm there to help people, protect property, blah, 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 all that good stuff, which is all fine and dandy, except for the fact that he's 17 underage, shouldn't be there. There's a curfew. All these people shouldn't be there. The curfew is supposed to be in effect. So all the guys out there are breaking the law at this point. Him even more so, being underage with the firearm. So anyway, we'll not harp on that, because just because he had a firearm underage illegally does not mean he doesn't have the right to defend himself with that firearm. Um, Now, I know a lot of people are going to be mad, me saying this, but it's the fact. Now, if somebody is trying to hurt him, now he has the right to defend himself. Now, let's back it up. Why? So there's a guy who was chasing him. From the video that you saw. Like I said, there's not a ton of the video. Like, you don't see what happened beforehand. The guy just start chasing the guy with a gun. I don't know if people do that. I know I'm not just chasing a guy with an AR-15. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to throw bottles and Molotov cocktails and then rush a guy with the AR-15. That's stupid. And maybe that guy was dumb. According to reports, he was a convicted child molester, I believe it was, or sex offender. Maybe not child molester, sex offender. That's here nor there at this point. I mean, then make it very clear. Child sex offenders, I believe, should be buried in the ground under cement and murdered twice. Like, I don't believe in none of that shit. But this is not information that at least I know that Kyle was working with. So it wasn't like he was going out, oh, I just shot a sex offender. Okay. So I don't believe that's his mindset. His mindset was, when I'm going to do this, I'm going to go out there with my gun. I'm going to try to help people. I guess that's what his mindset is at. However, him with the group of men, there's no way a group of people are going to chase him when he's with a group of people with AR-15s. Why did he leave this area? Like I said, there's a lot of things that are unclear. Why did he leave the group of people? Why would he not be at the building he's supposed to be protecting? Why is he running the streets? What happened to the confrontation for this guy to even start chasing him? Did he just see a kid with a gun and was like, oh, let me go after him? I don't think that's the case, but maybe it is. I just don't think it is. Me personally, I don't see a white kid with a gun and be like, oh, I'm gonna go attack him. So I believe that there's some other element that we're not getting. Kyle Rittenhouse maybe agitated something. Maybe he said something. There was a little verbal something. I believe there was something. Now, with that said, when Kyle turns and starts running away, he becomes non-threatening to that guy. For that guy to keep chasing him, now he is the threatening person and he's the agitator. And he got shot for his effort. That's just legality wise and truth wise, that's what happened. The other ones are a little bit murkier. He was running from them. It looks like might have been a scuffle. He tripped on the ground. One guy hit him with a skateboard and turned around or stood up, and then he got shot while Rittenhouse on the ground. And then the other one allegedly had a gun. The picture that I saw kind of looked like a gun, but it kind of looked like a box. I mean, it was hard to really tell. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But there's a moment right before he shoots this guy where they basically look at each other. He stops, and then he takes a step forward and he shoots him. So, like I said, there's always, I say, three sides to a story. It's his story, their story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So somewhere in the middle, something somebody's not. I don't think nobody's telling the full truth. I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse telling the full truth. I don't think these victims or these people who are out here chasing were telling the full truth, and the guy that's still alive telling the full truth. I believe there's somewhere in the middle. There's something. Now, with that said, um, I believe he will not get a murder charge. I don't think there's a murder charge gonna stick. There's gonna be no conviction. I'm sorry. Charge will happen. Conviction, I don't believe will happen, based on the fact that he has a legal right to defend himself. And I believe the state of Wisconsin even has other laws that are, but I think they don't really work unless you have a permit or something underage, but he's from another state. So I doubt he would have that permit. So there's a lot of things that, oh, sorry, I got my watching the UFC from yesterday I missed. Uh, but there's a lot of things that I missed. Um, back to my point. So I just don't believe everybody is telling the full version of the truth. But like I said, I don't believe there's gonna be a conviction on a murder charge. I just don't think the evidence is there, and I believe the self-defense evidence is more than there. So with all that, what we're going to probably see is some gun charge, some illegality with minor with the gun, crossing straight lines. He'll probably get a plea, something low, because they're going to, he's a treasure now. He killed a sex offender, so people are going to jump on this bandwagon. But like I said, with all the confusion, it's hard to tell why somebody would go after somebody. And the same thing, why a kid would go roaming by himself with a gun into this volatile area that he thought was volatile enough he needed to carry a gun, but not volatile enough where he should stay with a group of people that he was with that had weapons. He wanted to go out alone. That's the part I don't understand. Maybe in his mind he's being brave and he's trying to, help people. Now, if he would have got murdered, it would have been a whole different story. It would have been Black Lives Matter, protesters kill young white patriot or something along those lines. You know, every time somebody gets murdered, okay, this is a take that I've had. If a black man would have done exactly what Kyle Rittenhouse had done, they would have painted him as a murderer. They would have painted him as the movement, like the representation of the Black Lives Matter movement, no matter what he was. If he was not even there for the he could not be part of the Black Lives Matter movement, but he would have represented it. Even if he was there for it, he would have represented it, period. Kyle represents patriotism. He represents all these things that are good to America, but nobody's talking about, it's in my opinion, the fact that he should not have even been there. Okay? A lot of those people should not have been there. Okay? Looters and rioters had no place there, but a child, 17, who's not even from that state, should not have been there. I commend him for wanting to help provide medical attention. Great. But it's curfew for one, you're a minor for two, and you're legally carrying a firearm for three. So 3 strikes, take your ass home. Okay? And like I said, no, I'm not going to lose any sleep over him shooting a sex offender or domestic violence guy or whatever the case may be. But like I said, he shouldn't have been there to begin with. Hopefully this opens his eyes a little bit about what he should be doing, but I doubt it. I'm sure he'll be Trump 2020, 24. He'll be the poster boy for a while. But anyway, let me get off of that. I'm going to show a video real quick. I'm going to explain it as I do it. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Okay. So let me I'm going to do this screen share here. So people who watch this on the YouTube channel will be able to see this, but I'll explain it for all you guys who are listening via podcast, via Spotify or whatnot. So let me go ahead and open this up more. So looks like it's a traffic stop. You don't really get to see that part, but so where the video starts at, looks like a female officer on the driver's side, there's a male officer on the passenger side, and they're trying to get this guy out of his vehicle. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and play, and I'll narrate and pause as we go along here. Okay. This is an old video, by the way. Yes, I know. So I don't want to hear it. I know it's old video. This is not about the time in the video. So somebody telling him to do what he says, whoever's filming it. So cop is hitting him in the head with the baton. He's not getting out. One cop is literally, hold on, I'm gonna pause it right here. So there's literally one cop came from the passenger side. He's on top of him in the back. He's still in his car. The other female officer is trying to pull him out of the car, and he's just not cooperating. He is resisting. Okay. And the lady was pleading, do what they say. As you can hear, look, he's pushing, he's fighting. Now she's punching him. She's going crazy. She's trying to subdue him with punches in the face and head. The officers, none of them are reaching for tasers. None of them are doing anything along those lines. They're trying to fight him. Oh, she punched him. Looks like she pulled out her baton. She could have easily grabbed a taser at this point, but she didn't. Now he's got this guy. Oh, they got him out of the car now. He's on the ground. Trying to handcuff him. So one cop literally has him in mount position. The other officer has his arm. And they're trying to, and this guy is still, he's mounted from the back. The guy's pants are falling down, even his ass. And he's rolling out. This is actually some high-level jujitsu he's pulling off on this guy. Gets the baton, hits the cop. She jumps on the back, falls off. He hits her. Look, he stands up. He has his taser out. He lets the guy walk around the vehicle. Hold on. We got to back this up. Hold the phone here. Okay. Hits the other guy he hits the first officer with the baton after he steals. She jumps on his back, falls off. He hits her. Other officer has his taser out. He walks around. He's walking around to the police cruiser, gets in the police car. Good. Right there. He's in the car. Officer's right next to the door. And he's not pulled his firearm. He's not trying to break the window. He's tried to open the door. Obviously, it was locked. He locked the door on him. But look at this. No firearm being pulled. No taser being shot. None of that. Can we continue this? So he's running around. He's starting the police car up. And he's driving away. No shots being fired. He's not even pulling his gun out. Nothing. Okay? This is what I'm talking about here. Let me stop this share. So sorry, got this video here still playing. Close that. So anyway, that video right there, all that, those officers went through all that with this guy. Not once did they try to tase him. Not once did they try to shoot him. He literally beat both of them up, basically. Well, not beat them up, subdued them. I mean, he didn't even subdue him. He hit him and got up and walked to walked to the driver's side of the police car, got in, closed it, sat there, then started the vehicle, and then drove off. Okay? Okay, so I guess the comparison right now is let's looking at Jacob Blake. Now, there's a lot of holes in this story, a lot of things that we didn't see, I guess, previous. But based off what we did see, I think there was plenty to judge this in such a fashion that we can, in such a fashion that I'm going to judge it. Based on that last video we just watched, how cops had extreme restraint when they literally had every right to use force, every right. Now, here they tried to subdue him. They were trying to take him down. They were capable of doing this. Jacob Blake didn't get taken down. Allegedly, he was tased, and it didn't phase him. They said they tased him twice, and it didn't phase him. I haven't seen a video of that, but that's very possible. My thing is this: there's 3 officers there. He walked literally from the passenger rear side all the way around the front of the car to his door, being followed by cops. Nobody stopped him. Nobody, as he's resisting. Now, they'll say that's resisting because he's walking away. You know, I didn't see him throwing any blows or any hands. They said he was reaching for a knife. That still hasn't been shown. Now, brandishing a knife and having a knife are 2 different things. Now, brandishing a knife is, hey, I got this knife and I'm holding it up like I'm going to cut you. Having a knife in your hand is different. Or even having it in your car. There was a talk about a gun. No gun was recovered. There was no gun in the car. There was tons of witnesses out there. I know there's multiple cell phone videos. We only got the one right now. I'm sure there's going to be others that can turn up. I don't know. I want to see the body cam video as well. But here's the point. Jacob Blake, in my eyes, should have been, if he was a threat and it was supposed to be arrested, he was resisting, why are they not taking him down? Why are they not attempting to stop him from getting to the car? He didn't run. He wasn't running from them. He walked. He literally walked, opened his door. Apparently his kids are in the car, opened the door, and then he was shot 7 times in the back. Now he's paralyzed. Now, I'm not saying this guy was a great man. I'm not saying he was a freaking scholar. I'm not saying he was a freaking anything of that nature. What I am saying, he was human and he did not deserve to get shot in the back 7 times at all. Police officers need to be better at their job. And these 2 stories that I just talked about prove that. With the cop that the guy who just drove off in the car, when they had extreme restraint, I'm using deadly force, shows that they are laughably unequipped to deal with criminals. And the other one shows that they are laughably unable to de-escalate and or get a suspect contained without using deadly force. It's laughable that this man was able to walk around. You were shouting, I guess, stop or whatever. You let him get to the car. If you thought there was a weapon in the vehicle, why did you let him get that far? There's 3 of you there. I said, the police need better training. This doesn't make sense. For I can watch one police, I don't know if it needs to be uniformed across the country or uniformed throughout the states, but something needs to change. We can't have some good cops in this state and one good cop in that state, and this state has no good cops. Like, it's ridiculous. When deadly force is so easily, what it looks like, and I'm going to call it out there, it looks like it's very easy to use deadly force against Black people, but a lot of restraint help for white people. And I'm not going to sit here and say that's what cops are doing, but that's what cops are doing. Period. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I'm not just speaking on cases because I'm in the news. Speaking on cases because as a Black man, I've been in situations where I could have easily been murdered by the cops. Easily. Okay. For doing nothing but existing, walking. Here's a quick story. And I almost got fired from my job because of this. So I used to work about 30 minutes away from the place I lived, and I rode a bike and save gas, all that good stuff, living in the Northwest. So I'm riding my bike. It's an old freaking piece of crap bike I got from like a friend of mine who got it from like a thrift store. Nothing special. I'm riding. I get stopped by the police. Okay. They ask me where my drugs are. Who am I delivering to? Okay, mind you, I'm wearing my work uniform at the time. A total uniform from head to toe, uniform that I'm having my work ID on me. All these things that indicate that I'm headed to work. I'm actually going in the direction of my job. Was a few blocks away. So they stopped me, tell me, "Oh, are you putting drugs in the bike?" They threatened me with a canine unit to come and sniff my bike, and if he indicated they were going to cut my bike open to find the drugs. Okay, riding a bike to work. What happened? They held me for 30 minutes, ran my name probably as many times as they could, trying to find something. They let me go, and I was pissed the whole time. But knowing being too pissed will get me shot, can't be too angry. But I'm not going to be sitting here being super compliant. I'm not happy about the situation, and I'm allowed to not be happy about the situation, period. There's not a law that says I have to be happy about the police doing anything. I don't have to enjoy any of it. That's just the facts. Now, these are things that people were like, "Oh, you're fucking," no, this is dead. So I had to call my boss as I'm riding my bike, tell him what happened. And he was like, "Shut the fuck up, you're lying." He didn't even fucking believe me. I almost got written up. I literally had to prove it to him. Well, I would say prove it to him. I had to literally plead to him like this. I promise you, this happened. Why would I make this up? I don't live that far away. I wouldn't be this late. But anyway, I just find there's a very big disparity. There's a big gap in police training. Um, we've talked about it before on the show. I just don't believe the cops have the proper training. I don't think they can handle situations. I don't think they're equipped well enough. They have these large budgets that go to weapons and body gear and body armor and everything. But what about training? What about even weapons training? What about even hand-to-hand combat, jujitsu? What about things that could help people not die? Seems like I'm getting a message. I was hoping it's going to be, oh, looks like Lou is we're going to be recording later tonight, hopefully. But I wanted to get this episode out. I wanted to put a little something out there for everybody. I'm going to put this on the YouTube, and I'm going to put this on the podcast so you guys can enjoy that. But yeah, it's a little darker, somber episode. I'm actually going to record another episode um, probably tomorrow or tonight. That's going to be more along the lines. And if I can't get Lou due to his schedule, I'm going to have a special guest co-host, and we're going to do our kind of our normal thing. We're going to have some stories along this lines, but we're also going to do some more upbeat things and maybe some fight stuff and some TV stuff. And just, I don't want it to be all this, but I wanted to make this one, and I'll be making others like this. Some will be by myself, some will be with other people, but I wanted to point out some things. Like I said, all of it's not going to be what you want to hear. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be mad that I say Kyle Rittenhouse shot in self-defense, but some of this shit like Brock Taylor, 5 counts of rape and 6 months in jail. But anyway, you guys heard the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow me on the Instagram, the Big Eazy K, Twitter, Big Eazy K, Northwest and Chill, the YouTube channel. Hope to hear you guys comments, questions, things you want us to talk about, repping the Northwest. Other than that, I guess my last bit of news for the day. Was drinking on last night. Good old Schilling hard cider, the grapefruit and chill, of course. Had to put that on one time. But for me, Big Eazy, this will be, I don't even know what to call this solo segment. I guess I'm going to call it Take That.